The funny arcade. It's been a while. Here's where I'll find my answers. The Capcom 5. A name I'm sure will ring familiar to some, depending on which Wikipedia circles you run with. Announced in 2002, Capcom of America promised a series of games to be exclusive to Nintendo's recent console, the GameCube. These games are as follows: Beautiful Joe, Resident Evil 4, Killer 7, P.N.03, Dead Phoenix. It doesn't take a detective like me to deduce that this deal fell as flat as a hypochondriac at a Smash tournament. Heck, check your own copies of those first 3 games, and you may just find the only 4 stamp on there yourself, a remnant from before their success. It just takes a glance over the case file to see that Dead Phoenix never even saw out of the dev room, much less into the light of the GameCube. P.N.03, however, was simply never ported. Further investigation required. Though, cut the music. I think we milked the detective joke long enough. Okay, thanks. The game starts off with a title screen, funnily enough. Here you hit New Game and select Easy, because the game is sort of balanced for New Game Plus, but that's something to discuss later, so let's just get on to that rich plot. The story starts off with our protagonist, Vanessa Z. Schneider.
Oh my god, look at how cool she is, guys.
Doing cool flippies and twists.
Oh my god, wow.
She's on a mission to do, sent to this place by a person? Okay, maybe talking about the plot was a mistake, since we don't really get any. So let's talk about that gameplay instead. It's an action game developed by Shinji Mikami. That's a recipe for success right there. Controls go along the lines of A button to shoot, L and R to dodge left and right, X to crouch, you can do some fighting game commands on the D-pad to do stronger attacks, and that's about it. To specify, when I say A to shoot, that is 1 A press per shot, meaning you'll be button mashing the whole game. Combat is intentionally pretty sparse to emphasize dodging and defense, so as to set it apart from other games like Devil May Cry. See, this isn't fun for a couple reasons. For one, the only active reward to dodging hits is that you don't get hit. I guess that's cool, but it's not as satisfying as a Royal Guard or a cool parry. Second, it means that you spend a lot of time being inactive, waiting for enemies to make their move instead of just being proactive in combat.
I don't wanna wait, just let me shoot my gun.
And as to be expected, with how bare bones combat is, it gets repetitive really fast. And I mean like really fast. I mean like really fast. Ah, thank God, a boss fight to mix things up. Okay, that was cool. So what do I like then? Well, first off, at least the game looks stylish. I'm sure you've noticed by now how our protagonist is constantly jamming out to her own rhythm while fighting. All of her animations are done by hand, by the way, no mocap, all natural. The high energy synth beats thumping along really help add to the mood and make the game very high energy, despite how simple the gameplay is. Fun fact, you may already be a fan of the soundtrack if you've played Resident Evil 4, because after P.N.03 failed financially, they reused a lot of the soundtrack of this game for the Mercenaries mode. You might think you're listening to Krauser's theme right now, but surprise, it's P.N.03 mission number 4, dummy. The environments also look very clean, and there's a lot of decent variety to them throughout the game, especially considering everything's just a variety on flat white. That's sort of impressive. And some of the boss designs are pretty cool too, sort of Zone of the Enders-ish. Overall, the game has a very sleek presentation. It gives me vibes of a game that I wish was better. Anyways, the game is only 12 missions long, and don't worry, they reuse all of the cool boss fights you've been seeing. You see some new environments along the way, and dialogue drizzles in with each mission. I hesitate to call it a plot, because it all just equates to blow this thing up. Funny quip. Get along with it. Between your mysterious client and you. To help you along the way, new suits are available for purchase, along with upgrades for each one. You don't really have to bother until you get the endgame suits though, because they all carry over to your New Game Plus, and those are the ones you're going to end up using 99% of the time after that. You basically just have all around tank, glass cannon, those sort of things. They each come with different special moves as well, which are almost all functionally similar. More animations though. There's some bonus missions where they reuse more assets. I'm sorta just stretching for time at this point. Let's just beat the big robot spider brain that turns into a spider and just see the ending. As it turns out, your client was you! Or is it you? Are you actually you? Or are you them?
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Does any of this matter?
I'm not sure.
Don't worry, by the way, the twist has no setup and no payoff. You didn't miss anything. I guess the last thing to do is show off what you actually get from New Game Plus. Completing everything, the different difficulties and bonus missions, unlocks you some special suits, including one where you're half naked. Neat. There's also an additional cutscene if you beat the game like this, and it doesn't really explain anything. I'll be frank, I don't feel like beating the game over and over, so take someone else's footage. Godspeed, random YouTuber who I will try to credit in the description. So yeah, I guess that's why it was never ported. Wasn't good. Well, that sucked. Let's go back to you for a minute.
GameCube.
Dead Phoenix, as you can see on screen, is a game where you fly around and shoot big monsters, and whoops, it's already cancelled. What you see right now is what we have. No way I'm gonna let this little mystery slide. Though there is, surprisingly, not much to say about this game. Not for lack of trying. Capcom has simply been hush-hush about it for years now, going so far as to never formally announcing its cancellation. Who knows, maybe it'll resurface this very year. What we do know about the game, aside from flying and shooting, is that it was to be directed by Hiroki Kato, the lead designer for God Hand, and the director for both Code Veronica and Under the Skin. Huh, that might be a game for next time. Sounds like it could have been cool. If I had to guess, however, the game was probably not cool. Production Studio 4, the Capcom studio developing the game, did end up getting canned. Hiroki himself went off to become a farmer from what we've heard. Hey, if any of you guys happen to know where his farm is, I'm sort of interested to see what a gamer farm looks like. Rumor has it that Capcom tried taking it to Nintendo to make a Kid Icarus game out of it, but that's just a rumor. With what little Capcom has given, speculation is pretty much all we have. Tangentially related, I found that there were these charms given away during a press conference for the announcement of the Capcom 5. If anyone happens to have any of these, I'd love to get my hands on them, and I'd be willing to pay a lump sum of $5. Thank you. With that, another crime solved, and the citizens can rest easy knowing that one more game has been discussed on the internet. I could have spent this time talking about beautiful